Hi guys, it's Blackie. Okay, continuing with the 10 C's of Dave Canterbury's system. Today we're going to talk about cotton bandana. Now several of you have mentioned how sometimes I wear a neckerchief around the neck. It's a very, very useful item that we use in the field. It's one of those things that is a jack of all trades. That when you first look at it you go, I don't need one of those. But it has so many uses. Now let's look back historically. At most of the military uniforms had some sort of rag or bandana that they were carried. Okay. Let's look at the cavalry of the French and Indian War. The cavalry of the 1800s, 1870s, the Indian Wars. They all had yellow bandana neckerchiefs. It could be used as a signaling device. It could be used for all kinds of things. It was very, very useful. It could be used as a triangular bandage. It could be used for just a jack of all trades. Now, many people like a standard material that's kind of bland or whatever. This one is fairly thick and is in a triangle. Okay. Like I said, if you take it and tie the ends right quick, put it around the neck, it's a handy place to put an injured arm or something in a sling right quick. It can just as easily be rigged up into be a pocket of sorts to hang something quick that I gotta have right here. It's got 1,001 uses. Above the basic thing you think of is a rag. Okay? Now, this is a simple device, okay? It's cotton. What do we get out of cotton? It's absorbent. So I can use this to dunk in the water on a hot day, spiral it up, put it around my neck like that, and let it wet my shirt and keep a constant cool going on, see? So I'm helping me evaporative cool to help cool me down. It can be used for dunking, like I said, into water source, for taking a bath, for me to clean up, and it will dry fairly quickly, where I can tie it to a pack or hook it up on a limb in a breeze and dry it quickly, as opposed to a larger, thicker towel. Okay, I can use it as a hot hand, doubling it over a couple times to reach up and grab that hot pot handle to get it out of a fire, or to be able to grab something quickly and get it out of a fire. It's quick at hand, easy to use. It can be used for scrubbing material, scrubbing my pack, scrubbing my gear as a rag again. It can be used if it's a bright color, and you've seen me in a lot of my things. I have a bright orange one. I didn't bring it with me this time, but usually I have a bright orange one that can be used as signaling at long range as a way of attracting attention. It can also be used as a way of marking. This is disposable. This is sacrificable. How hard it is to get one of this? Any place that sells fabric, go up and get something fairly thick in a cotton fabric and tell them, give me a yard. And there's a bandana. Cut it on a diagonal, you get 2 of these. Don't cut it on a diagonal and just leave a square, you've got a larger one. Now, along that line, the shemagh, which has become popular today because of the Gulf Wars and our other wars that have happened the last 20 years. These have become very popular and well known with our troops as a great big do-all rag. It covers your head up. It can be done as quick camouflage to throw over something and break up your silhouette in hunting, be able to see out here and not look like a human. It can be used as something to lay down on the ground as a relatively clean place for me to process food or whatever. It allows me to be able to dust stuff off or get the whatever out of it. That horsefly that keeps bothering you, that's a fly swatter right quick to get him off of you, something quick and easy. It's wadded up and it becomes a pillow in the hammock at night up under the head. It can be used, as I've said, as sling. I can wrap it up with berries, gear, or whatever, roll up the center and then gather it up and tie it around my waist as an extra pocket, as a carrying device. It is a jack of all trades. Now, of course, someone's going to ask, yes, you can make charcloth out of it. It can be used as a fire starter in an emergency. It can be used to filter water for my canteen if I don't have a grail or something. This can become the basis for a filter to help me filter out that sediment, that tepidity, that pond scum floating around in the water. This is that. How about for warmth? Well, if it's a cold evening or whatever, this can be used rolled up, tucked around the neck, and then stuffed down into the shirt or into the jacket to cut off drafts. Because how do we lose heat? A lot of times we lose it around the neck and the head. And I've seen a lot of guys on cold days have this great big old burly jacket and they're sitting there bareheaded. They're losing so much heat. Or around the neck, you lose a lot of heat around this neck opening of a shirt or something. Well, one of these bandanas or shemagh can be used to tuck down in there to cut off that heat loss. When I'm sleeping, if I'm doing a debris hut or something, this is something I can tuck in to keep, you know, pine straw and stuff from getting down in my shirt and driving me crazy during the night. I want to seal up as much as I can. I did a demonstration quite a while back where I showed of sticking out a poncho and making a debris bed. And I'll put the link up here somewhere to that, where you take a poncho and you stake down 3/4. You put a big bed of leaves or debris, stake the poncho over it, and then you make another big bed over the top of it. You pick up the end and you wiggle underneath for it's not going to rain but I need to be warm type deal. No fire, I can't get a fire. That's one way of doing it. Well, having a shemagh or something or a bandana that I can tuck in places to hold is a huge advantage. How about that hot rock? That it's that cold and I'm being forced to use a debris shelter or whatever, so I'm going to take a rock and put into the fire, not from a water source, we'll get to that another day, but warm that rock up, and then having something like this I can wrap around that rock to tuck into my blankets or stuff, or in with me to help keep me warm at night. Tuck it up against my kidneys back here to keep my blood warm while my face is facing the fire, and I've got hot rocks back here behind me up against me trying to hold the heat on the backside. That's a trick that I learned a long time ago that works really good. How about as a sling? As far as I can hook to gear with this, bundle it up and throw it hobo style over my shoulder to carry a supply of firewood, to carry a supply of rocks, of whatever material. I can gather it up in this and use it as an extra carry device for carrying it. How about firewood? I can lay it out on the diagonal like this and then take the two ends, wrap around, tie a quick knot, and be able to pick up a pretty good sized hunk of firewood like that. Again, swing it around here on my back, carry it like that, and be able to carry firewood. It's a handy, quick grab. It's a no-brainer, okay? Now, you've also seen me carrying in the summertime. I don't actually like to carry the canvas one of these. I love one of these meshes. Now I've got cotton mesh like this. This is fantastic. You can see through it. See? This is a net. I can rig up a gear hammock out of this to get my stuff off the ground in inclement weather. I can use this to soak it, and this holds water much better. And on the super hot days, especially in first aid, someone who's getting heat stroke or heat exhaustion, dunk this in it and drape it over their head and then fan it a little bit. These openings will allow a evaporative cooling to happen. It's shocking, guys. I'm dead serious. This is a trick I learned down here in the deep south when it is so hot and there's just no air moving. And you've got a man down that he's overheating. You can drape this over him wet and fan it, and especially over the head, and cool the head, and the air will pass through it, and it's what we used to call a swamp cooler years ago, and the temperature inside of that can drop 20-25 degrees. No joke. And it cools the air they're breathing, it cools their head, it cools their neck, it cools their blood, and you're able to bring them back because it's 100+ degrees ambient temperature out here. You're above body heat right now, and they've just run out of water. You got to get water in them, you got to cool them down. So one of these can be invaluable as a life-saving device. How about one of these mesh ones like this? Could I use it as a fishing net? Absolutely. Across a shallow stream, could I dry fish into it and catch them with it? Absolutely. Could the cotton bandana be done? Yeah, a little more work, but it can be done. So a cotton bandana does have multiple uses. It is a jack of all trades that we should be carrying in our kit. Now, several of you have noticed that a while back I started wearing mine with a neck slider. And this is right out of the Boy Scouts, ain't it? Those of you that were Scouts or Scout Masters can relate to back that. Why do you think the Boy Scouts carried these? There was entire setups by the Boy Scouts on teaching them how to use these neckerchiefs for first aid, as a bandage to bind up a wound, to make a splint with 2 sticks for someone that's got a broke arm or a broke leg, to make a sling to isolate or to protect a head wound. It was the quick grab they had on right then for doing that. Yes, sterilized material is far better, but if you're in the middle of nowhere and this is what we got, this is what we're using. But there was a lot of things. If you look back at a lot of the old Scout books, especially the 40s and 50s, they talk in depth about using the neckerchief as a tool to be used in camp for many, many things. Like I said, this is sacrificable. So if I have to get holes burned in it or something damaged with it or whatever, this is it. It's cheap and effectively replaced quickly. So I can utilize this for multiple uses, even to the point of sacrificing it, because the cost is so low and its utility is so high. Now this, the Ohio Bushcraft gathering I just went to, there was a gentleman out there that was giving out these big, bright colored type, big 1 yard square bandanas, shemagh, cotton bandana, cotton utility thing. It don't have to be a plain color, it can be something bright or whatever, but it does the same job. It's the filter, it's the bandage, it's the hot hand, it's the pillow, it's the take a bath with, it's the dry off, it's the let me scrub that pot, it's the everything. And so with this simple idea of something to carry with you, you greatly improve your capability in the field. It's a force multiplier, as we used to say back in my day. And so therefore, for negligible weight, I have something that makes my life a lot easier in the field. And that's why in my haversack, on my haversack, in my gear or around my neck somewhere, I've usually got a rag of some kind for use in something like this. So a cotton bandana in some form is in my 10Cs kit. And probably be a good idea if you had it in yours. Hope you enjoyed these videos, guys. Please leave any questions or comments below. And before you go, please hit that like, share, and subscribe button for me. I'd really appreciate it. Please leave any of your comments down there and any ideas for future videos. And I've got more videos coming. We're going to complete these 10Cs very shortly. And then I'm moving on to another series. So, and I will, as you saw with the how I carry my cordage, if you ask, Blackie, go a little more into, I will be doing that. I've had several people say on the cover element that I did, Blackie, can you go more into the tarp use and etc.? Absolutely. Now that it's fall and it's cooling off here in the south where it's just not so horrible out here, I will be doing a ground pounder series. So keep an eye out for that. In the ground pounder, I'm going to show you minimum kit, a tarp or a poncho, a minimum fire kit with a canteen cup set like I camped out many, many years ago when I was a young man. And I'm going to show you my tips and tricks on how to set up a camp with such simple gear and spend a comfortable night in the woods. How to cook, how to do stuff with such simple gear. So that's going to be on the ground pounder series for you guys that still want to sleep on the ground in tarps. I'm a little old for it, but I'll do it for you just to pass on the knowledge, and that's coming. Till next time, guys, I'm Blackie, wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.